What is up, beautiful fish family? I am your host, DJ, and I'm joined with my wonderful host, Garrick, and we are the duo that does Good Kraken's Death Ratio. Garrick, how are you doing?
Uh, pretty good, man.
You've been playing.
Just yeah, I'm still playing Vampire Masquerade, which we're gonna be
We
talking
were gonna
more
talk about
about.
it. Maybe we
We're gonna,
might.
oh, good lord, we're gonna talk about it.
We might talk about it.
I fucking game. I have so much to say. But no, otherwise, having a pretty good start to my week, dude. We had fall break. We had fall break last week,
Oh, nice.
or was it last week? Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. I don't
Time
know, dude. The
blurs,
fucking
man.
weeks all run together. Dude, this month has blinked by.
Dude, no,
Is kind of what I'm
I
getting
genuinely,
at.
yeah, like the
Is
same.
is like October has just it was gone so fast. Um, we still have like a whole month until our next break in school, which is like always basically the next thing I'm looking forward to. Um, which is of course Thanksgiving at the end of the month. But I mean, it's crazy to think that Halloween's this Friday when I don't feel like I did anything this month.
Yeah, dude.
Like at all. I felt like I stayed inside. I felt like I occasionally played video games and I worked a fuck ton. But
Yeah.
like I don't know, it I am feeling more into the holidays this year already. Usually I don't get into the holiday spirit around till around Thanksgiving, but
Mm-hmm.
I've been feeling it. I've been feeling it. Oh, dude, okay. So I'm going really quick here. I'm going to out myself as the white person that I am.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
and so dude, I bought with my own money, purchased. I now own the complete collection of Twilight films.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Is it?
Dude, I
Was it a
literally just
sale? Was this like a goal of
yeah, I
yours?
was literally, I just kind of had like, I was thinking about it, and I was just like, I haven't watched these movies since like they came out, and
Hmm.
like I know they're like objectively bad films. Like
Yeah.
everybody says so. Like I remember they were all that great when I watched them, but I would rewatching them. I just finished the third one today, and oh my god, dude, they're not good.
Which one is New
They're
Moon? Which one is New Moon? Because that's the only one
New
I've
Moon
ever.
is New Moon is the second one.
Oh my
Watched that
gosh.
one earlier today. I watched two of them today.
I think.
Uh,
Yeah, I
uh,
vividly remember. Like, I don't remember the movie itself,
they're
but I
rough.
remember I'm
They're
walking
rough.
because my brother took me. I walked out the theater with him and his friends, and I was just ranting the whole time how that movie sucked, and they were all
Yeah,
laughing.
dude, it's definitely one of those movies where like I'm watching it just to see if it's as bad as I remember. It is as bad as I remember and worse.
And more
Like they're
so.
just and worse. But like I'm absolutely gonna watch part one and part two of the last two films just because I've kind of felt like watching them. Yeah, but I bought the whole bundle was like on sale for $10, and I was just like, oh yeah, fuck it, let's just see if these are as terrible as I remember. I will
Hmm.
say the soundtrack to the first one specifically is so good though. It like elevates the film to like a 7 out of 10, the first one, despite the acting being really bad because it is
I see.
totally on brand. But like god dude, those films are so terrible, but I'm loving it. It's definitely like those films are so bad that they're good. They're definitely one of those cases that like you can find enjoyment out of how terrible they are and how nonsense the fucking plot of that goddamn tale is.
Yeah, I can't believe that started off as a novel first, right? Like that.
Yes. Yeah, it's got four books. I broke Xander's brain the other day because I told him I was just like, yeah, dude, it's so fucking funny as like a former member of the LDS church watching Twilight because Stephanie Myers is LDS and Xander's like, wait, she is? And I was like, yeah, bro,
That's crazy.
she's Mormon. Yeah.
That's
And
so
so like you can
crazy.
see it in the writing and in the plot and like in the subtext of the movie, and it's so funny.
Incredible. 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 Well, I, I don't know how to segue this. Hopefully if you're listening, you're not LDS because this is Good Kraken's Death
Yeah,
Ratio.
hopefully,
Where
dude.
we're Oh wait,
Godspeed
I
if
didn't
you
even do
are.
the I did the well okay, hold on. Rewind. Rewind. Restart the
Wait,
restart at mission start, you know
go
what I'm
back.
saying? You know.
Go back.
Uh
Go back.
you know, but we're not talking about the LDS church or whatnot because we're talking about
No.
a bloody mess in the Pacific Northwest, destroying capitalism in the galaxy, and so much more. Because this is Good Kraken's Death Ratio, where we're slashing through the podcast space to be your source for all the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want to hear each and every week. If you want to get ahead of the curve, you can head on over to our Patreon at patreon.com/goodkrakenpods, where you can submit questions, topics to the show, get exclusive content, and have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services, wherever you like to watch or listen. You can also help us level up our game by joining the GK community on our Discord channel by clicking the link down in our description section below, then subscribing to our podcast channel by searching for Death Ratio and leaving a review there. Garrick,
Yes.
we got some critical hits. Critical hits. Spooptober is here. And Halloween is right around the corner. So stay safe out there, whether you're tricking or you're treating. So stay safe and stay protected. Make sure to check out our website, goodkraken.com. See all of our merchandise and the latest
Please
episodes
do.
and all of our podcasts and all of us. Um, we have been stockpiling, you know, episodes of Songs of the Abyss, and we haven't been keeping it to you out of malintent, okay? We've been working slowly to push it out. All right.
The new format takes Ernell a lot longer to edit.
Yeah, so we're trying to revolutionize the game right now. So please bear with us. We're gonna get you those fresh dice
Dude,
rolls very soon.
I felt terrible at the end of yesterday's session.
Yeah.
I felt so bad,
Yeah.
dude. I did not. I felt just like it wasn't even like I had like a stomach ache or anything. You ever
Yeah,
just been
you're
like
just
hit
gone.
with like that wall of sick where you're just
Like,
like, I'm literally
ooh,
gonna
like you just feel the
yeah.
wave of debuff.
Yeah, dude, that's literally like I felt like somebody just hit me with a fucking miasma, dude, and I was taking fucking dot damage.
Yeah, dude,
Fucking
he's taking DOT,
real
man.
time poison damage, dude.
Oh man. Oh man. But yeah, man. It hopefully we get some real cool stuff already happened already. So I can't wait for you guys to get into all of that.
They've been some cool sessions.
Yeah, some really sick sessions. So I just hope you guys will like it. Whenever we do start pumping those out. Also, episode 188 of the Shipwreck Show is now live. We have completed our ranking of Halloween candy. I can't believe you don't like Skittles, Garrick. I can't believe you don't like Skittles.
I fucking hate Skittles.
That's crazy. The second episode, part two, when you're not here, dude, it started off so strong. All of us on the same page, or at least you and Ernell had the parallel connections, the whole way until it just teetered off at the end. It was just man, it was definitely an episode you gotta. If you didn't watch it yet, Garrick, you gotta see the end of that episode.
No, I haven't. yet.
It's so
I
good.
still need to watch it.
It's so good. We had a couple unanimouses as well. I think.
Nice.
Yeah, we unanimously. There was one candy that we just had at the bottom. I just forgot what it was. If fucking circus peanuts were on that list, that's a F
Oh
tier.
yeah, dude. those got brought up in conversation like just the other day. They're like, yeah, I used to, like I get those like 'cause you get them like the single packaged ones at
Yeah,
Halloween.
I
They're
think
fucking. I hate them.
I think those are
They're gross.
bad. I can't believe Ernell loves candy corn. Um,
No, dude, candy
that
corn is literally a plague
that's a
on all
sin, man.
mankind. My
Like
wife
like
loves it, but I fucking
candy corn is
hate.
above circus peanuts, but it's still like they're like circus peanuts is below hell
No,
and
I
can't
would rather eat a circus peanut than
really
candy corn.
really.
Oh yeah, dude, I hate candy corn. I don't like waxy shit.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys want to check out that tier list ranking? Go check out that episode. Also, check out the latest episode 20,000 Films, where Ernell and Devin discuss, are horror movies back? Or are we getting a new golden age of horror? Um, yeah, it was a great discussion. Great discussion right there. Go check that out.
We'll have to look into what they see about that because horror movies are different. They're
It's definitely
different
different
now.
now. But I
They
think,
cover so much different subject matter.
yeah, I think this year's been like last year was kind of we were starting to see a lot more, but I think this year's
We've
been
had
like,
some good shit
yeah,
this
like
year,
a
dude.
lot of good
Especially with
horror
the
movies.
kickoff of Welcome to Derry.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's the reason why. But that wraps up for our critical hits. Garrick, what do we got next for the people?
Oh yeah. We have the thing where we're gonna be telling you about what's coming out. We're gonna be lining up for you
Uh huh.
the latest releases in
Oh
the line of
yeah,
sight.
the line of sight. Hell to the yeah. This is our segment where
I'll find it. Yeah.
we talk about games that are releasing.
Soundbite.
Oh, there it is. We're talking about games that are releasing from the day of this recording, which is October 28th, till the day before next recording, which is Monday, November 3rd. This comes from Game Informer. Shout out Game Informer, coming back from the dead. Um, like it never left. Like it never left. So we got a couple releases going on, especially today. Um, there's a lot of things going on. We got Ball X Pit, or if you're a Hunter watcher, it's Ball Pit. Um, so that's coming out for Switch 2. Shout out Ball Pit. Um,
What the hell is that about? Is it like a
I
is it
gotta look. Hold
literally
on.
do you
Whoa,
just
dude, the cover looks
is it
crazy.
just a ball
It's
pit?
by Devolver, published by Devolver Digital, developer Kenny Sun.
Okay, so that means it's something.
Yeah, it's it released earlier this month for PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC, and it just got to Switch too. So apparently it okay.
Oh, it's a
Uh
roguelike.
yeah, it's a shout out Ball Pit.
Interesting.
Uh Next up we got Creepy Redneck Dinosaur Mansion 3 for iOS. Um yeah, we also got Death by Scrolling on PC. Death by
Uh,
Scrolling.
that's a weird game to be a PC only title
It's definitely
because most
interesting.
people don't doom scroll on their PCs. They do it on their.
You have you never know, man. You never know. We also have
Yes, sure.
Duet Night Abyss for PC, iOS, and Android. Shout out Duet Night Abyss. Looks like an anime game. Covers anime, very anime. Um, Inmost for iOS and Android. All you iOS and Androiders getting a lot of games this month. You also have Ire, a prologue, coming to PC only. We also have I think this is a PC game. 2 Point Museum coming to Switch 2. Shout out 2 Point Museum.
Oh yeah. I've heard of that's a franchise, isn't it? Isn't it like 2 Point? There's like 2 Point Campus, and
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 2 Point Studios.
they're like life sim games
Yeah, or like
of
management
some sort.
games. I'm guessing
Yeah,
in a
they're definitely
sense.
management games of some kind.
Yeah, shout out to 2 Point Museum. We have a Recreation, coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and the PC. Um, yeah, racing, game looks alright. The Outer Worlds 2 is coming out tomorrow, October 29th,
Oh
tomorrow, this recording.
yeah.
So it'll be out today, around 12 p.m., 12 noon Eastern Standard Time, I believe. Yeah, it's coming out for PlayStation 5, Xbox S and X, and PC. Yeah, shout out to The Outer Worlds 2. We also have Adrift
Probably
coming
the
to
biggest
PC.
announcement for the week.
Yeah, I was like, it was pretty big. We have Adrift coming to PC the next day on October 30th. Looks kind of cool. We also have
Survival game?
I can't tell. I haven't it doesn't I can't even click to their website. I don't know where. It's an indie game. Um we
With
also
the
have
one in the title, right?
no. It's just Adrift.
It a drift. Is it one word?
Yeah, it's one word, Adrift.
Okay.
By SK98. Uh Developed by SK98. Like I can't discern anything from the cover. It's just like a horizon, like a sunset.
Does it look like a desert?
Is
It's
that a
a
desert?
cargo. It's like a top-down cargo delivery game.
Oh, oh, look at that. Sounds
Yeah,
kind of
carry
cool.
your fragile cargo across a top-down world and discover fragments of time before.
Yeah. Shout out,
Interesting.
shout
It
out to Drift.
actually it's got a pretty good aesthetic. It looks
Yeah, the cover looks
like
sick.
it looks like a 2.5D. It's like what if you took rally racing, like the rally racing game,
Mm-hmm.
like as in rally,
Mm-hmm.
and mixed it with like Death Stranding.
Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah.
Like you're
Uh,
literally just delivering shit through weird environments. Interesting.
yeah. Sounds interesting. We also have Arc Raiders for current gen
Oh
and
shit, I forgot.
PC coming out October 30th as well. Arc
I'm excited for that.
Raiders. A lot of
You
people.
gonna play Arc Raiders, DJ?
I don't know. I might give it a try.
Dude,
But from
you got it.
what I know of how people have talked about this game, it's good, but it doesn't hit this like the anxiety and the like desperation that Tarkov does. Um
Yeah, which is super fine with
yeah,
me
which is
personally because I
I'm
find
glad
that
that
game
Arc Raiders
overly
is finding success like
but
out like in that genre, but outside that kind of medium, outside that uh specific player base. So
yeah, I'm pretty
I might give it
excited
a shot as
for
something
playing it. I'm
casual
gonna
to
get it.
play.
It's the only
Um,
extraction shooter I've ever like had any yearn to play at all.
hmm yeah, no, for sure. I'll give it a try though. I love the extraction shooters. Um, we also have Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D remake. Coming to PlayStation 5. We're coming to current gen Switch 2 and regular Switch and PC. We're moving away, man. We're moving away from the last gen. Hopefully,
Dude, it's a
it's been a
long
long time,
time
dude. We should
coming,
have
dude.
been done like 2 years ago. um, we also have Majagami, coming to Switch 2, Switch, and PC. We also have Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection coming out for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC. Um, yeah. Shout out Mortal
Dude, I
Kombat.
bet you Switch gets supported longer than any other
Oh no, it
last
definitely
gen
does.
console
Probably does.
for sure.
We also have Stray Children coming to Switch and PC. Yeah, the Switch definitely would, because didn't we read an article where it was like developers are
They're like,
encouraged
if you
to like
can't afford a Switch 2, just buy a Switch.
yeah, and all the developers are like encouraged to put their game on Switch and then port it to Switch 2
Yeah,
later.
they're still designed to go to think Switch first,
Yeah. So,
or
yeah.
encouraged to think.
Also, Virtual Fighter Revo World Stage comes to PlayStation 5 and Xbox on October 30th. This is the remaster of Virtual Fighter 5. The latest version, and World Stage is basically cross-play and rollback netcode for everyone. So it's gonna be really cool. We're gonna see a lot of uh, a little bit of a resurgence into that game. Um, Tales of Zelia. For October 31st, Tales of
Isn't there a
Zelia
new one coming out
remaster.
too
Huh?
for Virtua Fighter? Isn't Virtua Fighter 5 coming out?
Six is coming out.
6.
It's in development. I think it's been in development, but like they've been like slowly just teasing it. I don't know when it's coming out. It's supposedly supposed to come out this year, but
I'd about to say I'd heard it's in development. I'd heard like the word.
yeah, it's. I thought it was supposed to come out this year, but it might come out next year. Um,
Okay.
or about around this time next year. Yeah, Tales of Xillia remastered coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox X and S, Switch, and PC. We have Terminal Brigade coming to Xbox X and S. And that wraps up our line of sight, because I guess there's a gap between November 1st to 3rd. No
Dude,
games
it's so
releasing at all.
weird how many games don't release during the holiday season. Like we get like
But
one or two like
dude,
big
but there's
releases
like what? There's
around
like
Christmas
six
time.
games releasing on November 4th, like the day we are our episode.
Yeah, I don't get it. And
Like
then
I
like there's nothing later in the week, and you're just like, well, why are so many games competing for sales on the same day?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know
Why is
like what
Tuesday launch day for video
yeah, I
games?
don't know when like I don't know like what research in the industry that like someone has done to like have that, because like Outer Worlds 2, one of the developers said they are so glad that GTA delayed their game. I don't understand like where the release window like is. You know what I mean? Like what do you mean like you're releasing it in the same like month?
Oh yeah, dude. I imagine making a release date for a video game is very similar in process to like giving an investor of like a construction site like an end date for completion on the project,
Mhm.
like knowing full well it's bullshit. like,
Yeah.
like you're like I gave you a number, but it's probably a lot. Like I don't, but like it's just so weird how like games seem to release on Tuesdays and Thursdays. That seems
Mhm.
to be when games release.
Yeah,
But
Tuesday,
I
Thursday.
distinctly remember games coming out on Fridays
Yeah,
a lot more when I
Fridays.
was younger.
You know what I mean? Oh man, dude. People were
It
camping out at
was
Best
yeah.
Buy or GameStop or
Dude, I literally used I remember standing in line for like pre-orders at GameStop on the weekends.
yeah. Man, digital killed all that, dude.
Yep.
Digital killed all that.
Video killed the radio star, bro.
Yeah. R.I.P. dude. R.I.P. But yeah, that wraps up our line of sight. Uh, what do we got next, Garrick? What we got
Oh yeah.
next?
Oh yeah. Now we're here to do what we're here to do, right?
Yeah,
This is the where the podcast really becomes the
this is
podcast,
where we start
right?
talking about games.
We're getting into it. We're talking about the games. We got a twofer tonight. We're
Mhm.
giving you guys some reviews, but of course, we're starting off with our smaller segment for a review in progress of another game before we talk about our big game,
Yeah,
which is chapter select.
chapters. Yes, sir. Chapters select. We are talking about some games. Okay, since we're, me and Garrick both come into the episode with a game in mind, but they're different games. But Garrick wanted to go first, and since he's been here for a while, whatever he says goes. Garrick.
I mean, to be fair, my as much as I'm having an experience with this game, your game is going to be way more talked about and discussed in media, and it's going to have a lot more like just general media traction because it's not as niche. So that's kind of why I figured we talk about mine first, because I figure like
Mhm,
as far as podcast headlines, so to speak, yours is going to draw in way more attention than mine,
mhm. No, for
because
sure.
I am reviewing Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's developed by the Chinese Room. Um, are there Chinese people in the Chinese Room?
So okay, I did some like research on this, uh, and it's not named after anything to do with China.
Oh, it's like Fine China, like
No, it's like the Chinese Room, and it's so there's something called the Chinese Room argument that holds a computer executive program having a mind, understanding, or consciousness. And so it's like a weird it's like a if you know, you know.
yeah. Okay, I
Like
guess.
I literally found this out on accident because I typed in the Chinese Room into my search bar and the game studio was not the first thing to come up.
I see. I see. I see. I see.
So I got
So,
educated.
all right. Oh wow, that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. Yeah. Um. So
Yeah,
yeah,
the whole thing's about philosophical argument. It's very strange. So yeah, carry on.
interessante. Interessante. Um. All right then. Also, the publisher is Paradox Interactive. Um. The previous titles for the Chinese Room are Still Wakes the Deep, I think.
Loved it.
Uh. Everybody's Gone to Rapture, and Amnesia Machine for Pigs. Um.
Fucking terrifying ass
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Very terrifying. This released uh about last week on October 21st, 2025 for PC, Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and last gen. That is PS4 and Xbox One. Synopsis is you are the Nomad, an elder vampire awakening from a century long slumber, new to the modern nights. Trapped in your blood is a stranger's voice. This entity, a vampire detective known as Fabian, will be your
Fabian.
guide to 21st century Seattle. Seattle. Yeah. All right,
All
Garrett.
right. Okay. Before I tell you about the game itself, I do have to tell you a little bit about the history of the development of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have a lot of really strong feelings on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Mm-hmm.
But frankly, it's a fucking miracle this game exists. Like being so fucking serious. If you understand the history of this game and the history of this franchise in video gaming, you will understand why it's crazy that this game it got launched.
Yeah. Didn't
So,
this? Didn't the first one like come out like years ago? Years ago?
dude, yes, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines launched as a PC only title in 2004.
Jesus.
Man, 21 years ago is when we got the first game. And it was not a success.
Mm.
This game became a cult classic success many years after its initial launch. General reviews of this game were overall positive, but it didn't sell a lot of units. And it was an overly ambitious title.
Mm-hmm.
But game development was very different than it is now. Delays didn't exist. you finished your project or your shit got canned.
Mm-hmm.
So this got released in an unfinished state. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, the original title, is only fun for the first 2/3 of the game. The final third of the game is a fucking mess. And a lot of our original reviewers never finished it and got that far. So it got skewed reviews, and a lot of people remember it very fondly and are very blinded by nostalgia. And that's coming from an individual who really loves Vampire the Masquerade Bloodline, but the graphics weren't great. There were so many fucking bugs. Firing guns was like near impossible. Melee combat was so one note, like it was super clunky and like just not overall very fun. Like using your vampire powers for things other than combat was what was enjoyable. A lot of what made that game great was the fact that it was a hyper stylized, super edgy goth punk aesthetic set in LA, Santa Monica. And it got like a cult following because of that. But the game itself wasn't anything super. It wasn't like the Baldur's Gate 3 of their time, right? Like it
Yeah.
wasn't, fantastic. It was a very troubled game from a niche franchise even back then. So fast forward to 2015. It's been 11 years since Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines came out. We've had no news of a potential sequel because, frankly, the game wasn't a success. We didn't really see any news out of it. We all kind of wanted something, fans of the franchise, but it didn't happen. But then Paradox Interactive acquired White Wolf, the parent company of the World of Darkness, which owns the Vampire Masquerade tabletop as well as its video games. So potential for a sequel was reignited. Hard Lab Studios, not the Chinese Room, pitches and begins the development on the game in early 2016, excuse me. So they start working on it. We, as the fan base, don't see our first bit of information until March of 2019. We got our first announcement trailer with a cinematic trailer, and its aesthetic is very similar to that of the first game. Graphically, not super impressive. Definitely looks like it's going to be more of like a AA sort of title, looking to be within the spirit of the original game. Fans had mixed reviews on what it looked like versus what we were getting, but we were excited that we were getting something. We get a gameplay reveal and an initial date for a release of quarter 3 of 2020. That was the initial release date for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. And it didn't happen. The game got delayed in 2020. Further polish to perfect the game experience was required, was one quote. Then it just started. Then we hit the development hell. August 2020, the second delay happens. Later in August 2020, key creative staff, including the writer who was also the writer on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, the original, are fired from Hardsuit Labs. Then in October of 2020. Other key narrative staff are let go in August 2020. February 2021, Hard Lab Studios is completely removed from the project, and the game is indefinitely delayed. Right? Not looking so fucking good. 2021, Hard Lab Suits experiences more layoffs due to their incompletion of the project. Late 2021, the Chinese Room is announced to take over the project. September 2023, the new developer, Chinese Room, revealed the new release window. The new release window was set for fall of 2024. That did not happen. It was delayed yet again to January 2024, which is where we get the first gameplay trailer. It is not well received. Everybody shits up and down this first gameplay trailer, myself included. It looked terrible. Then we got the third major delay announcement after massive negative feedback. announcing that it would be released in October 2025. The Chinese room experienced layoffs during the later end of the development, leading all the way up to October 21st, where Vampire the Masquerade's Bloodlines 2 finally fucking releases. Holy shit, what a development. This game getting switched to the Chinese room was basically its last step before they just pulled the plug and canceled it. So, like I said, it is a miracle that we got this game, given that is the development history of this title. Holy shit. That being said, messy developments mean messy fucking games. This game is a grab bag of quality in many aspects. This is being branded and sold as an RPG, but it is they did have the foresight to not use the word sequel to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. They said this is a successor to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines.
But use the same name and added a 2.
Yes. This should not have been named Bloodlines. I firmly believe that if this was named like Nomad or like even the Vampire Masquerade Seattle, like people would have received it a little differently. Mm-hmm. Because in the original title, you play a thin blood vampire, which is like a later generation. In Vampire the Masquerade, vampires follow generations. And your generation goes down one based off of the generation of vampire that sired you, so on and so forth. It's not like birth generations. Even though they're on like the 15th overall generation of vampires being created, you can still become a second.
It's just how,
vampire,
like if
a first generation vampire makes you. Does that make sense?
If a gen Gen 1 vampire makes you, you're like, oh yeah, I'm a Gen 2 now.
You're a Gen 2 vampire.
Yeah, but if you were like Gen 15, your mom was Gen 15, you're like Gen 16, you're basically normal.
You're some weak shit. You're basically a glorified human. Like,
you're basically a zombie, honestly.
It's the difference between getting the Captain America Super Soldier Serum and the John Walker Super Soldier Serum, right?
Yeah.
One's way better than the other, and you're gonna get way bigger payout. And that's kind of how that is toted. So in the original game, you started the Thin Blood, which is like a 11 to 14 generation. Mm-hmm. In that game, you should have never really been as powerful as you are in that canon. It didn't make any sense, but it's fine because it made for an incredible gameplay experience. But the first one was really, really RPG heavy and super ambitious. And I'm going to reference the first one a lot because it's what everybody is comparing this game to. It's not even really getting compared to other current titles. It is exclusive being compared to a title from 2004 because it literally can't outrun those expectations. And you would choose your in Vampire the Masquerade 2, you're not creating a full vampire. You are the Nomad. You're an elder vampire. That fact is set in stone from the very beginning of this story. The Nomad takes on many different names, and in this game, you take on the name of Fire, spelled Phyre, and you awake in the middle of Seattle with Fabian's voice in your head. Mm-hmm. And no idea how you got in Seattle. You've been asleep for 100 years. You don't know how Fabian got in your head and you need to figure out what the fuck's going on. So basically, you have this mark on your hand that, for reasons unknown, which is part of the story's mystery, binds your abilities as an elder vampire. So you have to reawaken your elder abilities as the game goes on. And that's the biggest like RPG aspect, is reawakening those abilities by consuming different kinds of blood and then spending the blood at clan contacts to reawaken those abilities. When you start out as Nomad, you have 6 different clans that you can choose from. Each clan has uh, 4 different active vampire abilities available to them. One passive and one perk that they get at the end of their tree line. There is the La Sombra, the Ventru, the Tremere, the Toreador, the Bruja, and the Banu Hakim. Those are the names of all of the clans. The clans are essentially bloodlines. They hail from particular sires, way down the generations, and they are prone to having certain abilities and defects, a la like a space marine. From like Warhammer, where like blood angels are prone to the black rage, and like, so if you're a Bruja, you're prone to the frenzy more often, but you're more likely to have superhuman strength physical abilities. Or if you're a Tremere, you have stronger blood sorcery. Or if you're a La Sombra, like the clan that I chose, you have manipulation over the shadows. And you've got these really stylized abilities, which are all immensely fun to use. It's absolutely where the game shines, as far as like its immersion and its setting. So you awaken, you choose your clan, and you got to figure out what the fuck's going on. You're released into the greater Seattle area, and the map isn't overly big. It's like 5 city blocks by like 5 city blocks, and this is the area that you're operating in. I don't know how big the original map was intended to be for Bloodlines 2, but it's fairly small. It's very contained. But it is open world, and it is for you to freely explore. You can roam the streets where there's civilians, or you can use your vampiric abilities to use super speed and strength to jump and climb to the rooftops of buildings, while using your unique elder ability to glide across rooftops. Um, all while doing the very important thing of upholding the Masquerade, which is where the game takes its name from. The Masquerade is the vampiric laws set in place by a faction known as the Camarilla, and basically it follows the simple idea of do not use your supernatural abilities and reveal to mortals that vampires exist. Right? That's the fucking rules.
It's like
And
blanket, like this is like blanket gentleman's rule for every vampire out there.
yes, yes, it doesn't matter if you're part of the Camarilla. It doesn't matter if you're part of the Anarchs. It doesn't matter if you're part of the evil Sabbat. Everybody upholds the Masquerade, because mortals knowing that vampires exist can draw the attention of vampire hunters, or the Second Inquisition, which is a group of hunters that know vampires do exist and are drawn to where they're like, there are rumors of them existing.
Right.
You are, of course, doing all of this while sustaining yourself with blood to refill your health bar, and power your vampiric abilities, all while trying to figure out what the fuck happened, why you're awake in Seattle 100 years away from where you remember, thousands of miles and 100 years away from you remember falling asleep last,
Mm-hmm.
and why you have another vampire in your head. And I'm going to spoil this story plot because it is part of the tutorial. Fabian's dead. You diablorated him, or diablereed. It's basically, it is vampire cannibalism. And when you awoke from torpor, or your great slumber, you consumed the first thing you saw, which was poor Fabian. When he opened your box, and you consumed his soul, and as a result, he now lives inside your mind. Um, and that causes some really interesting things to happen. From there, the mystery ensues of why you're in Seattle, why you've been branded with this mark and your power's been sealed, and how you can get your restore yourself to your former self, and figure out who's been abusing your status as an elder for their gains. Well, that political
Yeah.
intrigue type of vampire story. The Chinese room is known for their narrative stuff first. The story is very strong. It's well written. It's got lots of super interesting characters uh, of both mortals and vampire, of various different clans, both as the clans that you're playing as and as clans that you're not playing as. Um, Having Fabian in your head results in a different play style. You will spend the majority of your time using your elder abilities as fire to consume 3 different kinds of blood by using your enhanced ability to find mortals with those blood types to reawaken your abilities. Uh, Traversing the rooftops, destroying anarch ghouls and vampires, trying to break the Masquerade and threaten all the vampires in the city, uh, while also figuring out what to do about Fabian being in your head. Um, every time you sleep, you dream, and you have these sequences where you view the world in Seattle through Fabian's memories, which leave breadcrumbs to the greater story. Uh, Fabian is a Malkavian, which is a vampire clan that is prone to like hallucinations and seeing
Whoa.
things. They tend to be crazy. Um, DJ, just a little bit of information for you. If you know of a vampire stereotype, it probably exists in the Masquerade in the form of a clan. Nosferatus are like the ugly Bram Stoker Dracula can't go out in public because they
Mhm.
don't look human types. Um, Gangrels are like are similar to they're vampires with animalistic traits.
Huh.
Uh Tremere are like wizards. The Banu Hakim are like hitmen. That sort of. They all have different. Ventru are like the vampire nobility that they think they're above all. That sort of. They all follow into those sorts of stereotypes. Malkavians tend to be prophets and seers, but they're batshit fucking crazy as a result. Um, but Fabian is a gumshoe detective, like noir style detective working for the Seattle Police Department. And so you view the world in his flashbacks through his eyes, talking to these characters. Sometimes before you've met them as fire, sometimes you after you've met them as fire, to build these interweaving connections to the story
Mm.
and the greater intrigue of the Camarilla court and its underworkings, and these murders, this murder mystery that is linked to Fabian through these rebar killings, where like vampires and mortals are being decapitated at the head and rebar shoved through their chest. And left as like messaged for vampires and those associated with them. You're trying to unravel all of this mystery through Fabian's eyes, and solve its greater connection to fire. Um, but Fabian's nuts. So a lot of your detective work will involve you like walking around talking to filing cabinets, because like it has a spirit to you. And so like you basically have like this fucking this neo-noir like style conversation with these inanimate objects that uh, provide you with clues to and gain you leads to further your investigation. And then you talk with all these interesting characters, like Lou Graham, which is probably going to be the most prominent example. And she is the retired prince of the Camarilla. The princes, male or female, they're the leaders of that city, um, the de facto vampire leader of that city in that vampire underworld. And Lou Graham runs things behind the scenes without holding the title of prince. And her sires are the princes in charge of the city, at least on paper. But Lou Graham is an actual person in real life. She is a historical figure from Seattle who helped restore Seattle after the Great Seattle Fire. Lou Graham was a real person. This is a fictionalized, vampirized version of herself, and what it would have looked like if she would have restored Seattle for her own power and personal gain as a vampire. Um, And so the characters in the story they're in the murder mystery and the political intrigue and the finding your position within the court as a reawakened vampire with your powers sealed. People respect you, but like they know you're weakened, and it's like everything about the setting and the atmosphere in the world is very interesting. Seattle in December is snowy and dark and brooding. There are people on the streets, but and cops on the beat, but otherwise not a lot of life in the city. Um, the combat is very interesting. All the powers have a ton of flavor, as I previously mentioned. You can unlock every power in the game with a little bit of grind and some blood perusing. You unlock those powers at blood contacts. Unlocking powers unlock outfits, so you can get that sweet goth punk vampire drip, which not only makes your vampire look badass, but it does adjust how people interact with you in the world based off of the outfit that you're wearing. Um,
Hmm.
Perfect example, like I was in like the upper, like the rich part of town near some high end hotels where Lou Graham resides. Um, and I had found a mortal that had like an aroused blood type. Basically, if you met the conditions, you can walk up to this mortal and then be like, "Hey, I want a piece of that ass." And then they follow you into the alley and you can consume their blood. But when I walked up to this mortal, they literally looked at my outfit and said, "I am so fucking out of your league," and just
Dude, I'm
walked
so
away.
turned off, dude. Get that shit out of here, bro. Is that
So,
is that
and I lost the
pinstripe?
opportunity to consume that mortal's specific aroused blood that I needed to unlock blood, because of course there's just regular blood which will refuel your abilities and your health. Um, but you use these other three blood types. It's like basically aroused blood, fear blood, and angry blood. They have a much more dramatic names in game, but I'm not gonna I
Right.
fucking I yeah. And so you're hunting those downs, and you have to be able to meet the conditions to be able to interact with those. You have to say the right thing to prompt them to engage with you the certain way, to be able to like chase them down, to be able to consume that specific blood type, to store to spend at a later date.
Mhm.
um Fighting the anarchs on the rooftops is immensely satisfying. I love the vampire abilities in this game, DJ. As a Lasombra, I have the ability to manipulate the shadows and cause fear in my targets. Each different clan has like different melee animations.
Mhm.
Um, and like you all have like they fight using a different style of like fist fighting. Um, and they do have like slightly different characteristics. Like I believe the Tremere will actually like they like fling little bits of blood at the end of their nails, so they have a slightly increased melee range compared to the other
Oh.
clans, that sort of thing. Um, but as the Lasombra, I have like my first ability I unlock is the ability to it's called Shadow Step. And you literally dive forward into your own shadow in front of you, and you come out of the shadow of the target behind you. It's so fucking sick, dude. And you can like consume you like you can bite them or just snap their neck or like defeat them from there. You get an ability to like shoot shadows from your hand, like the shadows obey you and like extend out like fucking like that goddamn jutsu. You know the one
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it like and it entangles them, right? And it binds them up. I can cause fear in my target, which will cause them to go into a fear state for their blood, and I can consume it for a blood type, and they will run away from their allies. And then you've got your ultimate ability, which is called Enter Oblivion, and
Mm.
you literally like it's fucking domain expansion. I'm being so dead ass, not even fucking. It's domain expansion, dude. You do like this. You like compel the shadows in front of you, and like there's this big white flash, and it like inverses the world. And anybody in front of you, when you inverse the world, comes into this pocket shadow dimension with you. Anybody on the sides or behind you gets left behind.
Uh-huh.
So there's only you and these individuals in this pocket dimension. On top of that, you can use your shadow arm ability and you can bind them while you're in the shadow dimension, and you can combo it. And if you can reactivate your ability, and it insta kills them and traps those people in the shadow dimension forever. They literally
That's
just
crazy.
blink out of fucking existence, dude. And you come back to reality and they're just gone. It's so sick. It's such a sick ability. It's so like the power fantasy of using that skill is incredible. Taking people to a pocket dimension in the first place is dope, but being able to bind people inside that pocket dimension and then just leave and trap them in there forever
You're
is
like, goodbye,
crazy.
dude. See you later,
Yeah,
man.
it's it's
Enjoy your
it's
time.
insane. And like they have tons of flavorful abilities. You do have, of course, all of the things that you might expect. You have an entrancing kiss, where you can bite somebody and they will go onto your side. You can beckon mortals or vampires to where you were standing last. You can blink and like recall yourself to your position. Let's see, what else can you do? There's a thing called mass manipulation, which will like let you mind control whole groups of individuals. Uh, there is blood blade. There's like literally blood blades where you can like you summon a blades around you and you fling them with telekinesis. As Brujas, you get like supercharge abilities, or you get like this ability called Lightning Strike, where like you basically like charge up and like you like rouse the blood to like
Mhm.
flow into your veins, and it gives you like super speed, and you like you like fucking speed bag like 5 people and just like and just like speed bag these 5 different people and just mollywop the fuck out of them. Um, or you can literally possess somebody and cause them to just walk off buildings, or attack their allies or police officers. Or one of my personal favorites is an ability called Terminal Decree, where unless they are a really strong vampire, you cast it on them and they literally just break their own neck and die. Like on
That's
the spot.
crazy.
Literally just and they just die. Um and like there's just so many different flavors of abilities. That with the blood you can boil people's bloods. Or you can make it so you can turn them into like blood bag time bombs where like the next time they take damage they explode violently. Like the power fantasy of playing another vampire in this game is unmatched. It's like Dishonored meets Prototype. That's what combat feels like in this game. You feel
I
very
was I was
powerful.
just about to ask, like how similar is it? It sounds like it's very similar to Prototype, or would you compare it to like that type of sandboxy, like power driven combat?
Yes, 100%. Like you can pick up guns with telekinesis, and you can just mag dump onto people, and then you throw the guns. You can pick up their former weapons. Uh, you can use your telekinesis to yank people off buildings or stun them. You can use your dashes to do different kinds of kicks. Up on top of all of your different like vampiric abilities. It's like the abilities themselves in the first person perspective and the way that they kind of enact reminds me a lot of For Honor's combat, specifically like the fist fighting and the melee combat and the way the parry system works. Very, very For Honor. But the way the
Mm,
powers make you feel in game, the power fantasy experience is very prototype coded.
I see.
Um, but at the end of the day, like the game's really troubled. It lacks a lot of things that you would expect from an RPG. Uh, as I previously mentioned, the abilities are the only things that you're unlocking outside of the outfits. You're not leveling up and allocating stats. So character progression doesn't necessarily feel super meaningful if you're not actively looking for those blood types to unlock those new and reawaken those new abilities. I highly encourage that you do, because if you unlock the the abilities, you can unlock the perks and you get like all of the perks, which is what makes you another vampire. You can become even more powerful. You can pause the game and freely change the abilities whenever you want. There are like ability slots, like relocate always goes and relocate, so you can't freely mix and match. That does hurt creativity a little bit. I would love to see the ability to mix and match powers in the future. And like I said, there's no stats. There's no humanity meter. Consuming humans or killing humans doesn't reduce your humanity, which was a really big thing in Vampire the Masquerade. There's no hunger meter, so there's no reason for you to feed outside of replenishing your health or your fuel for your abilities. You're obviously at a massive disadvantage if you're not consuming blood to refuel those things. But it can kind of take you out of the role play immersion of I am a vampire who just regularly needs to feed. You are going to be engaging in combat regularly enough in this game that you're gonna find yourself feeding with some regularity, anyways. It's just not necessarily for mundane reasons, right? It's not necessarily for that role play vibe exclusively. With that being said, your clan doesn't really play a lot into it outside of your starting powers. Your Bane and clan flaws aren't super present. A big thing for the Lasombra is like they don't have reflections. That's their vampire. They have like the OG, like vampires can't be seen in mirrors.
Yeah.
Thing that doesn't necessarily come into play a lot here. But it same with, I'm assuming the reason you can't play as a Malkavian as a main clan option is because they didn't want to drum up a bunch of hallucinations and voice lines for that. You can tell that this game was meant to be much more ambitious and that the Chinese room had to work very, very hard to scale down a project that wasn't ready for release. The side quests are miserable. They are literally talk to this NPC, kill this target, talk to this NPC, grab this package, return. It is the most generic form of action adventure open world quest that you could possibly get. Dialogue is impactful and great. There are 6 different endings to this game. You can absolutely get some replay by playing the different clans and by taking different dialogue choices. But there's not a lot of dialogue choices and choices that feel like they directly affect how people interact with you. Just overall story bits, which again was something that was really big in the original. There's no modern save feature. This is probably the biggest failing this game currently has. I'm similar to the opinion overall. I'm with IGN on this one, where it's probably like a 7 out of 10 game based on my personal experiences. Obviously, I'll get into our rating here in just a sec. But when I can't manually save a game in 2025, that's a fucking problem, man. That's a problem. The performance on PC is not great from what I hear. It's just something I want to bring up. The game crashes. And because there's no manual save feature, you're relying on auto save. I watched a sponsored streamer lose 2 hours of recorded content live on stream.
Jesus.
Because the game crashed and the auto save was old. Because they hadn't checkpointed the game in a while, and hadn't just met a checkpoint condition. And that's real feel bad, man. When your game's performance is causing people to lose progress, that's a tough sell, right? Not being able to just save your game in an open world game, where you're making choices, any dialogue choices and shit anyways, is nuts. Not being able to wield melee weapons is interesting. Not being able to use guns in the way you would normally use a gun is interesting, right? You use all of that stuff through telekinesis. Otherwise, you are just using your vampiric strength and your vampiric powers. You can find a lore reason for that. I didn't dig too deep into that. I just kind of I viewed that from the perspective of he's like an elder vampire who's been asleep from 100 years, and maybe he doesn't know how to use a modern gun,
Hmm.
but he understands that pulling a trigger fires bullets because 100 years ago they still had guns.
Yeah.
Um, and he's 400 years old. He doesn't need to use a sledgehammer to kill a human. He can use his bare fucking hands. Um, and so like that didn't bother me, but you could do all of those things in the first game again, right? So that the removal of those the removal of the allocation of skill points, to being able to like have skill checks and dialogue. It's just missing a lot of what makes an RPG an RPG. Um, it feels much more like an open world action adventure where you are just living Nomad's narrative. And there are a couple of different ending options available to you based off of choices within that scenario's canon, right? Um, but like so it has an RPG story. The vampiric elements are cause RPG, right? Like you have to uphold the masquerade. You can't just go around willy-nilly using your vampires on everybody. You
Hmm.
are immersed in the act of being a vampire trying to blend in to society. The power fantasy is incredible, but it's still missing so many of the features that you saw from the previous game that people expected. Um, if you're new to the franchise and have never touched the first one, you're probably going to like this game a lot more because the immersion and the power fantasy and the story are all still there. Graphically, it's still good, if not a little average for this generation and day. Um, but I would love to see it just change a lot of the features that it currently has. Um, in terms of just quality of life. The biggest one being manual save. It has to. They have to add manual save. They have to have the ability to save, especially if you want people to replay this game as different clans. The second thing that this game absolutely needs to have is the ability to skip Fabian's parts on additional playthroughs. Because Fabian can't run, jump, and do all the crazy vampiric super stuff that fire can, and you're literally just walking around Seattle. You can do it super fast. You have like super speed while walking because it's like a memory, so you're just it's like it's doing it at memory speed, right? Like really quickly. But you're still slower than fire are if you're using your vampiric sprint and gliding across the rooftops and jumping and using your super jump and your super speed and all that shit.
Mm.
So like that would really that for me would really diminish the replayability of this game because you can't skip it right now. And like I said, the dialogue choices and Fabian's stuff are all memory related, so that it doesn't have any impact on the modern story that you're currently playing. So after you've gotten the information from the initial playthrough, it's just redundant in playthroughs going forward. It lacks things that you would expect in an RPG that wants you to play it more than once because it's set up to be played multiple times using
Hmm.
different dialogue choices, choosing different clans, etc. Um, but at the end of the day, the game in its current state doesn't want you to replay it, right? Because if you want to replay as a new clan, you're gonna lose your last autosave uh, just before the finale of the game for your current playthrough. That's feel bad, man.
Yeah.
That's feel bad. That's real feel bad. Um, so it's a miracle that this game exists. They salvaged a product that while fans were excited for what the ambition that Hardsuit Lab did, it got canceled for a reason, everybody. It did. Like they got removed from that project because it wasn't up to par. The 2004 version of Bloodlines released because delays were not a concept that we engaged in the industry. This is not a perfect title, but I have immensely enjoyed my time with the gameplay and the story of this. Do I wish there was more going on in the open world of Seattle? Yes. Is it lacking basic things that I expect to see in an RPG? Yes. Is it lacking quality of life features? Yes. Is it worth $60 in its current state? Absolutely not. I will never let my personal bias sway the rating I give to you guys for a game. I'm having a lovely time with this title because I adore the World of Darkness. I adore Vampire the Masquerade. I adore vampires. I'm really, really big into this style of setting, and vampire games are just really, really few and far between. So I like to take the joy where I can get it, and I am having a lot of fun playing this game. Fire is an incredibly compelling character. Um, the power fantasy, I've said it a bunch of times. The power fantasy, and this is a vampire, is unmatched. This is the game. I have never played a game where you feel as powerful as a vampire as this, including V Rising, which is also an incredibly immersive vampire title. Um, but it just lacks a lot. The Chinese Room has 2 DLCs planned um, through POV perspectives of other characters, and I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. Uh, but there's just a lot that needs to change in continued development in this game if we ever want to see a potential Masquerade Bloodlines 3 or just the return of Fire as a character in this franchise. With that being said, this game is absolutely a wait for sale. I think there's a lot of lovely stuff here that is perfectly in line with the World of Darkness, and is great immersion playing as a vampire in this world and in this setting. And I'm so happy to be back. The Chinese Room worked really hard to salvage a product that I'm just glad got released. Um, and I do firmly believe that this rough result is still better than nothing at all. But this is absolutely a wait for sale. Do not buy this at $60, not in its current state. Especially if you're a PC player. Pick it up on console if you have the option. Don't pick it up on PC until performance issues have been worked out. Um, and if you can, I would probably look to pick this game up at like around $40. Mechanically, visually, story wise, I feel that's where it's best at right now. So you don't need to look for that deep sale at 50% or more. Um, but yeah, this was a troubled it's a troubled game with a troubled development.
Hmm.
Uh, but I love it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. I mean, look, I gave it a little bit of a look, and it doesn't look bad at all. It doesn't look too bad. Um, but shout out to the Chinese Room being able to do what they can. Now we just gotta wait 20 years for like the next one to be like super super good.
Dude, and the thing is like I've already been all over like their Discord and their subreddit and stuff, and they're like, we plan on doing everything we can to make this the game that you guys wish it was. And like, am I gonna hold my breath that they're gonna like Cyberpunk 2077 to this and like re-add in RPG elements and like skill? No, I'm not gonna hold my breath for all that. But like, is there the potential for them to add quality of life features and add in RPG elements like hunger meters and that stuff in the future? Of course there is. And but like I said, it's a fucking miracle this game came out, dude. Holy fuck.
Hmm. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That wraps up Garrick's review in progress, right? In progress or just
Yeah, man. I know I ranted a lot on that one just because like there's just a weird history with this game and this franchise, but I have not rolled credits on it. I've got 20 hours. Um,
yeah.
I've got 20 hours in this game. I'm doing all of the side. I'm probably gonna 100% it just because I'm me.
Yeah.
But yeah, not. I think I'm about halfway through the story, and it's getting really interesting. Some fucking shit's gone down, dude.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right, man. So Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 gets a wait for sale. I gotta change that end there. No Game Pass for that one. No more Game Pass.
Yeah,
No
we're not
more
talking
game.
about Game Pass for a while.
Yeah, we're not gonna
We're
have
not
Game
recommending
Pass.
Game
Yeah,
Pass to anybody
yeah.
currently.
All right, but we got another game to talk about today. Garrick, what is our next segment?
Oh yeah. We're heading into it. The
Into
meat
it.
and the taters of the conversation. Because we are in the end game now, baby.
Ooh,
Uh
and game.
yeah.
Oh yeah, this is
Oh
our
yeah.
headlining
It's
segment.
big stuff.
Yeah,
Big news. I'm super stoked because it's not often that we actually get to do a review before a game comes out.
yeah, or we're doing it as it's coming out.
Right? Yeah. Like
Yeah.
before like did we get a review copy? No, of course
No,
not.
no,
But
I just bit the
did we
bullet.
spend some extra dosh so that we could give you guys a sick review? You bet.
You betcha. Today we are doing I am doing a review in progress of The Outer Worlds 2. This is developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Xbox Game Studios. Their previous titles were Avowed, Grounded 2, Grounded, The Outer Worlds, Pillars of Eternity, Fallout New Vegas, South Park The Stick of Truth, and Alpha Protocol.
Wait, Obsidian made Stick of Truth? I did not
I didn't know that either, and I looked it up. I was like, "What the fuck? No way."
I had no idea.
So shout out to them, man. I mean, like we gotta have like a conversation one of these days about like the best like current like development studios, because I think Obsidian has a
Like
dark horse of
there's a couple
releasing.
Yeah, there's a couple of studios that like if you look at like their 10-year history, you're like, these guys have just released banger after banger, and we didn't even notice.
Yeah. Um, and Alpha Protocol is like a bad game, but it's a cult classic type of game as well.
That was one of their earlier games, right? That was
Yeah,
before New Vegas.
yeah, way before New Vegas. But the synopsis is The Outer Worlds 2 is the sequel to the award-winning first-person sci-fi RPG from Obsidian Entertainment. The Arcadia colony is engulfed in a factional war as the Protectorate's rule is challenged by the rebellion of their religious order and a corporate invasion. Navigate diverse zones, uncover hidden lore, and shape the fate of a system on the brink. Man, oh man, where to start? I want to start off by saying I played the first one. I've beaten the first one, but that was a long time ago. So, of course, a lot of people know Obsidian Entertainment for Fallout New Vegas. A lot of people herald New Vegas as the best Fallout game. In terms of
Only one Bethesda didn't make.
yeah, in terms of how much are like how open it feels and how much player agency it has, and the RPG elements really shine in New Vegas compared to 3 and 4. And Obsidian's been kind of on a roll in terms of the games releasing. Of course, Fallout was backed by Bethesda, but they've been making their own games for a while now, including this series, The Outer Worlds, which the first game was a AA game. It wasn't a AAA game. It was, I think, published through Private Division, which is part of 2K, I think.
It was before they partnered with Xbox.
Yeah, before they partnered with the evil 2K. And that game, Outer Worlds 1, was definitely like a 7 to 8 out of 10 type of game. You'd really enjoy it. It was basically like, it was like Fallout. Or closer to Starfield.
I remember Outer World. I liked the Outer World, but some things that I personally remember about that game, dialogue was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It was fucking frustratingly too short, and they literally finished the game like years later. It pissed me off. And combat was kind of shit.
Yeah. Combat definitely felt very one note, like not clunky like Fallout New Vegas was.
Nah,
Like
it was
it
just
was just
ADS and
it was
shoot.
just yeah, basic hit scan. Like it was just basic. It was very very basic. And it had like their own kind of VAT system with this time dilation thing, which carries
Oh
over
yeah.
into this new game. But I did admire, you know, the way like you said, I love the dialogue. It was witty. It's even funny. Like it's
It
even
was
like
so funny.
hilarious at times. And it's definitely a game that the world itself doesn't take itself seriously. If that makes sense. Um,
Yeah, it's very parody.
yeah, very almost campy, almost campy. Um,
Yeah, for sure.
so now, in the first game, you were kind of like in part of I think the Horizon Colony. I can't remember. Like you're cryogenically frozen, and in a past life you get to choose as your background like who you were and this and that, and now you've like woken up and you're here to save the world. Um, and this game, I don't think follows in the footsteps of your first character, but it's a new character. You are now an Earth Directorate commander. And you get to the character creation is not like insane, but it's pretty robust. You could definitely make a cool looking character or a very detailed character, a pretty detailed character in character creation. And now you get to choose between different backgrounds. So, uh, and those of course
Mm.
have different trade offs and different dialogue options. I believe there's one I chose the gambler. So I just like basically the gambler was you just like to take big risks, and one day you just owe money to the mob and you decide to join the Earth Protectorate or Earth Directorate uh to kind of escape because they give you asylum and you're just traveling the galaxy. Um and there's other things like there's the professor where like your knowledge of this certain thing gets you recruited into the Earth's Directorate. There's also I think it's called the roustabout, the roostabout. Is that how you say that? Um,
Roustabout.
the roustabout. It's like you just don't know how you ended up here, but like through some like weird way you just get in, like you just pretended to be, I think you pretended to be someone important and they just like took you in. uh
Yeah, the roustabout would be like the Mickey 13, like
yeah,
sort of, or
yeah,
Mickey 17
yeah,
last option.
yeah,
Like you just like you were fucking you were just wandering through life, maybe getting beat down a little bit. You're just kind of going with the flow.
uh-huh,
Some fucking dude walked up to you and be like, "Hey, you want to join this company?" And you're just like, "Okay." And you just didn't say no, and now here you are.
yeah. And then I got to choose some perks. So I chose gambler, and then I chose lucky, and I think like also something in speech. So basically you start the game off as already an established, like you're a commander. You have your own ship, you have your own crew, and you get introduced to a character and a future companion in Niles Zabara. And he's like the first character you see. He's like, Commander, we got this thing from Agent DeVries. We need to make contact with her and this and that. And he's kind of like a rookie. And you now control the ship. You meet your other crewmates. Like I can't remember the names off the top of my dome, but it feels very Mass Effecty. It feels very Mass Effect, if that makes sense.
Mm,
Um, because they like even to the point where, like they're like Commander, like you know what I mean, like you get this
Commander Shepard.
yeah, Commander Shepard. So you get this hollow tape. You tap in and you talk to Agent DeVries, who is another like agent of the Earth's Directorate, and he's currently helping you. And you're basically setting up onto this sneaking into this like protectorate base. Um, And then, you go ahead with the plan. Uh, but then she betrays you. She betrays you. Your whole squad blows up, and you take the last pod that jettisons outside of this like floating planet, or this planet, right, or this floating base outside the planet, right? And in the pod, you get cryogenically frozen. So basically, they activate a nuke inside of this like facility, and it basically like it blows the whole planet up and creates this rift, like it's kadoosh, right? Um,
Yeah.
which causes a lot of problems for the world, the galaxy at stake. So you're cryogenically frozen, and you're floating in space until you get picked up by Niles, who has survived the Horizon Point mission, right? Um, it was really funny because there's a cutscene like your pod is floating in the air, and there's like this like claw like that's extending out to try to grab it, and like it misses like a claw machine, and then the humor is already being presented to itself like full front, but he pulls you in, and then finally you get to see Niles again, but this time he has longer hair. He has like scarring all across the right side of his face. He looks like he has a stubble now, and
Been a
through
minute.
dialogue you hear it's been 10 years since that
Shit.
mission. So you wake up 10 years later from Niles and your on-ship robot Val or Valerie. And he kind of catches you up to speed on what's happened. So DeVries, after sabotaging the team, she's been kind of on the roll, just like she's heralded as a hero by the order, and she's been trying to like they've kind of been sympathetic to like her story as she's seen it, and she believes that you're dead, right? And so now you're on a plot of revenge, um, and trying to track her down to either see why she did it or just get revenge on the person that tried to kill you and your squad. So it's like a mix of Fallout New Vegas and like I guess Mass Effect in this like how it starts the plot. Um and like how New Vegas, you get shot in the head, right? And that kind of gives your character a clean slate, if you will. So you can apply whatever headcanon or however you want to mold your story. And I think that
Yeah,
is
'cause you get
super
like
cool.
amnesia or some shit, right?
Yeah, you get kind of or you can play into the amnesia, or you can try to track them down, and because your background is vague. So now I am in control of the ship once again. Niles and Valerie are your first two companions, and you land to try to find remnants of DeVries everywhere. And I've been playing it for a good bit, and it's been I'm technically in the first act at the moment, and it's been pretty fun. I've been enjoying it. The combat feels a little bit better. It's definitely not like insane, but now you can actually
How does it look and feel knowing that like it's got a bigger budget? Like
it
graphically,
it
like audio?
dude, graphically it looks better. The faces, like when you talk, remember in the first game you talk to someone, they zoom in. This time when it zooms in, it feels like their facial structure is like it's way better. You could tell the budget is up. Um, the gunplay feels better. Now you kind of build into whatever you want. In the first game, you technically could do that, but you knew that, oh, I probably definitely need a gun, and I'm probably definitely just gonna spec into guns.
I
Um,
didn't. I
or like
played a stupid melee guy.
yeah,
I
or like
literally,
or like
dude,
just frontal
I
melee. But
was yeah. I literally was I played a character that was so stupid that some of my dialogue options were just grunts.
yeah, you can do that. And then but remember, like stealth in that game was like almost non-existent in the first game.
Oh yeah, dude, it was there like as a mechanic. It existed in
Like
the
stealth
game, but it was
existed, but
bad.
You couldn't be
Yeah, it was
stealthy.
bad.
You couldn't be like an assassin. You couldn't really
Yeah,
be,
no, that you couldn't do that.
um, lurking in the shadows on some Splinter Cell type stuff. But in this game, you can, because now you can sneak attack foes, and that is based off your sneak level. Um, and now I think the leveling is more important now in this game than in the previous game, because uh, you can invest points into locksmith or medicine
Oh, okay.
or
More RPG
sneak,
options.
more RPG options. And now, remember in the first game, you could get into any building, anything you wanted. You didn't need lockpick. You just had a bypass shunt, and you would just bypass any lock you found if you had it, right? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
This game, it's locked behind your lock picking level, so you can have the bypass shunts, but you don't have the lock picking skill, you're not going to open it. If you don't have the medicine skill to look at this, you're not going to get the extra dialogue or
Right.
extra piece of information, and
Yeah,
that
exactly.
plays into the dialogue. So you could talk to an NPC, and you could talk to them normally. But there'll be like dialogue pop-ins where it's like, oh, you can use your speech skill to identify this, or I choose the lucky perk. So there's some times where I
Yeah, what
like,
I can't luck does something weird in this game. I can't
yeah.
remember, right? It
So
didn't do something
it's not
specific.
tied to a skill point anymore. It's now just like a perk. So you can just kind of roll the dice against something. I had it multiple times where like this facility was blowing up, and I had to send it to either space or to a nearby colony. But I didn't have enough hack skill to send it to space. But then there's a prompt at the bottom that said lucky, and it says, you just hit it and try to see what happens. I'm like, I'm gambling. I'm
Oh
hitting
shit.
it. I hit it, and then I'm like, congratulations. They're like, congrats. You successfully sent this thing to space. You changed the trajectory to send it to space. And I'm like, oh
You're like,
shit.
oh my god.
Yeah, thank God. So, and that plays into it. Medicine does as well. Like, there's so many different like how your build can be effective. Depending on what you choose to level up. And there's even, and I was gonna say this, so if you're talking to an NPC, you can talk to them normally, right? But let's say this NPC is withholding information or has information on them. Let's say before you talk to this NPC, you were just exploring around and you found like a terminal, and you read like a diary or like a little journal of them. And if that info is relevant, that then when you talk to this NPC, there's sometimes you can pull it up within dialogue. There'll be a little notification to be like, oh, this is information that you found, and and you can apply it, and you can tell them like, hey, like, I know you were doing this. They're like, whoa, 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 what how'd you find that? How'd you dig into my personal files and stuff? There's stuff like that. There's all that type of stuff is within the world and dialogue. So it kind of rewards you for kind of like searching around and trying to snoop around as much as you can. And even if those options are like, if there is an option to like find more information about someone, they'll even like have it, but it'll be grayed out like at the bottom. You won't know what it will say, but it'll just have the
It'll be like
icon.
blank, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be an icon like, oh, you needed more luck skill, or if you needed more medicine to tell them how to do this, or you needed more hacking to tell them to do this. Because I've had multiple interactions with NPCs where they're like, oh, dude, is like, for example, this guy was basically like, hey, like, I mean, I've been kind of beat up pretty bad. What should I do? Should I just go back, or should I keep fighting? And I didn't put any points into medicine, but there was a bottom prompt that had the medicine icon. I was like, oh damn. So that I was limited to, my options were, oh yeah, dude, just walk it off, or I think you should just lay down here. And I assume if and I assume the medicine would be like, oh,
Slow
you
down,
probably have
bro.
like a slip disc in your L4, L5. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that.
Like something super specific. They're like, dude, if you don't get treatment, you're gonna die. Like,
Yeah, dude. And this game is you can tell they're having so much fun. The developers are having so much fun with this game. Uh, there's even the perks. Like when you level up and you get a perk, they have different perks now depending on like how much you've leveled into a certain skill. And so I got this one called Space Ranger. And basically it's I believe I get more damage for every point I take into speech. I get like 10% damage, like in general, if I put a
Interesting.
point in the speech. But those perks actually go into dialogue. So I have a Space Ranger dialogue where I basically just talk like I'm like this heroic, like triumphant, very. I'm like, I will serve the Earth, right? Basically like the Helldivers. Helldivers. It's the Helldivers perk. It's the Helldivers perk. It's like I will serve and protect the Earth's directorate. Like I will serve, like no matter what. And then the reactions I get from that dialogue, like the characters you talk to are so animated. They're like, uh, okay, like I don't know how that's
What do you
relevant.
say, bud? Like,
Yeah, like like they're so aware. Like it's like sometimes you'll play games that have like that certain dialogue, and they'll just keep talking anyway. Like like you didn't just say what you just said. They'll just be like, oh yeah, that's
yeah,
normal for
and
you.
you're like, oh, that was. You're not gonna acknowledge the fact that I just
Then
said some bizarre
I just
shit.
went like I did a 180 in my personality or something. No, they take really good care in the dialogue where like they react to everything you say to them and how you would say it. Like this the Space Ranger is just the corny like superhero like type of dialogue, and they're like I don't know what that means, but I guess yeah,
You do you.
sure, as long as you can get the job done. I um
Yeah, there was a lot of humor in the first game. I'm glad that that was something that they carried over.
yeah. Um So also, what carries over is remember the factions in the first game, or like the corporations. We had Auntie
Oh
Cleo's
yeah,
and Spacer's
yeah.
Choice. They after the 10 years while you were in hibernation, they've merged. It's now
Oh
Auntie's Choice.
shit.
It's Auntie's
Oh,
Choice. So they've become like a mega conglomerate, and they're kind
hey,
of taking over.
we got Disney going on.
Yeah. So they've merged together, and so they're fighting a war with the Protectorate, which is like the order, and like they're like the religious, almost cult like. They worship like the rift that happens. And this is a new element to the game where I haven't played enough to tap into it yet, but I'm assuming basically the rift will destroy like this section of the galaxy or system uh in 2 years, in less than 2 years time.
Oh, okay.
um so basically is caused this kind of like ripple effect where in the I land on the first planet, and there's these little rift anomalies. It looks like a tear into
Like a
like
reality.
yeah, like it's like it just looks like a tear. And right now if you walk into it, like at the point in this game, you just die instantly. So apparently things get
Oh,
sucked into it, and like if you walk into it, you basically like get like your body like just deatomizes and just like gets sucked into the rift.
are you
Um
gonna? Do you think you're gonna be able to go into them at some
I
point,
think so
or you're gonna
because
be closing them?
the way it might be a way to close them because they're marked onto your map once you find them, and they're like big icons on the map.
Oh,
So
interesting.
so I'm still figuring out, I'm going through the story to figure out what to do with those, because they're placed in areas where I think maybe you can use them as to, maybe fast travel or like teleport to one way or another, or maybe like you suggested, maybe it's like to work to close them, or maybe it unlocks like a boss fight. So maybe there's like replayability aspect where you might have to return to certain planets to um close those rifts or something like that. Um
Yeah,
but yeah, man, that aspect is really fun. Man, it's just been it's been such a joy to explore just even the first planet. I haven't even stepped off the first planet.
I'll say, how many planets are there was something I wanted to
I
ask.
don't
Because there was only
know,
there was
like
6 or 7 on the
4.
first map, but only 3 that you could actually play.
Yeah, and then I think like after DLC you can explore the other ones. Um
Yeah, they finally
but
added them in.
um I don't know yet. From right now
I'm gonna
the
look it up.
map looks small in terms of like the galaxy map. So maybe it's just like 4, like maybe like you said, like maybe 4 to 5 like really detailed planets you can be on. But I have no clue. So I might I'll have to play more to find out. But yeah, this game rewards you for exploring. I've just been walking around the planet and I just find these interactions. Um, you just
There's
go
6 planets
6 planets.
at
Hey,
launch.
hell yeah. So like I was walking around and this you just see this guy, like I accepted the quest, I see this guy just like jump off like this big ass building and fall to his death. And then like some NPCs at the top is like, Jackson, are you okay? And then like, hey, you
You
stranger,
doing
can you
okay.
check on Jackson? And he's like, yeah, dude, I think he's dead. And then in that dialogue option, there was also a medicine thing. So I'm assuming like I could have been way more detailed if I went into medicine. But they're like, yeah, I don't know. If you fall like that, I think he's dead. And they're like, yeah, we've been trying to get this building because it was like a building on stilts that like extended like 80 feet in the air, and they couldn't like power the thing to bring it down. So Jackson had the Pale boots, PALE. I forgot the whole acronym, but finding this, you can actually get double jump. So it's like a thruster boots. So now you can double jump, and now there's parkour. So now there's some parkour elements. Now you're like parkouring to get all the way up to the top and solve the this dilemma with these NPCs. And or actually, so and this is cool about the this game is that I actually was sent on a quest to go check on Jackson and get a note from him. So you see Jackson plummet to his death, and then you talk to the NPCs up there, and you're like, "Hey, do you think you could help us?" But I already took the stuff off of Jackson, and like that, the NPCs up there aren't a marked quest. So I could have chose to just keep him stuck up there and just go turn by quest. Then I didn't have, and I took the boots still. But you know, I like to play good guy, so I
You
actually
could have
went
just
to help.
left homie
Yeah, I
up
could have
there
just
and
left, but
completely ignored him.
the option that you could have just left them up there for the whole game, you can never return again. I think that's really really cool. And there's a lot of interactions just like that. Um, I haven't met. I've met one more new companion. Her name is Inez, and she's a grafted soldier. So she's part of like a super soldier program, but she has to be
Oh,
like
okay.
they're like grafted like kind of animal parts like or animal like things within her. So she has like these like nodes on her arms, and her arm looks like all veiny and like swollen. And so you get her out of her contract, and basically you're tasked to go fight these like raptidons, these little like craggly creatures that infest this world of paradise. Um, and you have to like find specific ones to help her complete and fix her graft so that she can be of use to you. um because and I didn't
Hmm.
mention this, so companions have abilities now. They have a little ultimate ability that you can
They're
trigger
not just walking
yeah.
guns.
So Niles, your first companion, he has a distraction feature where if you press his, he'll take aggro from whoever you pointed the ability at. So he'll take aggro and deal
Mhm.
damage. So then it takes the heat off you, and you can finish off that target. You only gain this like, and it shows in a meter at the bottom below their character and their health bar. Um, and you only gain this meter while you're in combat. So it's not like a cooldown thing. Is really you just have to fight to, get that thing up. Valerie the robot, she throws like corrosive acid that like removes armor and stuff like that. But when I got Inez, she has a done her companion quest yet to fix her graft, so she doesn't have an ultimate yet. So now she's kind of like just a regular like companion, just bullet sponge basically. And of
Right.
course, your companions can go down; they can't die. Um,
Right.
but they do go down, and you have to revive them within combat. If you're in combat, they'll just get themselves up if the combat is finished. But within combat, you have to revive them, and it takes like 2 seconds to get them up. Um, and as you're doing quests and companion quests, they'll even try to talk to you. They'll be like, "Yo, Commander, you have a sec?" And then like there'll be a little speech bubble pop atop of them, and then you talk to them and
Right.
like, "Hey, I know we've been walking through here. I actually have this old friend that lives on this planet. He's not too far from here. You want to go check it out? We'll go say hi to him. He might know blah 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 blah." And then you can be like yes or no, and now there's a there's like a telltale like system in it. It'll be like if you choose certain dialogue options against certain characters, they'll be like they will remember this. Like they'll like Fallout,
Oh yeah, yeah.
they will remember this. So you can even see if they're appreciative of your praise, or if they're
Yeah.
disappointed by your crassness. You know what I'm saying? It's stuff like that. So I think there's like a
I
hidden
failed to
like
bring it up,
relation.
but Bloodlines 2 does that. It's like when you make
Yeah,
certain dialogue choices, just like this embarrassed this person, or this made this person hate you,
yeah.
or this made this person, or like
So
they were pleased by this.
yeah, I don't know um how it's going to affect like the whole story and the gameplay yet. I have yet to see it like manifest into something tangible to know if like being nice or playing into the favor of your companions and whoever you talk to works. Um but it seems to kind of like morph their decision making. So with Niles, you go talk to his old friend, right? And I'm not gonna give too many spoilers. We're doing spoiler free. So you talk to his friend, and you have to decide on whether to decide on something. But you in dialogue, it even says like, oh, you can let Niles speak for himself. You just let him speak, or you can butt in, or
Oh, interesting.
and you know and when you're doing and there was a point in the quest where you have to save somebody, and this person after you save them is like, oh, I'm trying to blow myself up into this helicopter with this other guy. I'm trying to like make a sacrifice, like, and when and Niles like, I don't think you should do that, and your character's like, oh, I don't think you should do that. um and it was like, he's like, well, and then once Niles convinces them to not do that and go back to safety, but then he goes back to you and he's like, look, I think I like her idea, but we can just sabotage the helicopter uh without, I can just do it on my own, and we can blow up. Like, who cares about the risk? Like, we won't get like this is like one of our, like, a 1 in a million shot to do this. And you talk to Nas, you're like, are you sure? Like, if you take the like inquiry route, like, you're like, are you really sure about this? Like, you heard what she said about the risk of blowback from if we try to do this. And he's like, yeah, I know, but it's an officer. Like, we could like cripple their ranks. And then I would tell him like, oh, I know, but like, really think about the risk. And there's a dialogue option that says, look, Niles, look, just, I want you to think about this one more time before you make a decision, and I want you to make that decision. And then, like, I had no idea where it was gonna go. I click on it, and he's like, and it was like, he will remember this. And then Nas was like, yeah, you're right. I was just thinking out the box. So I don't know if my previous interactions helped him get to that decision or not. So I wonder if
Interesting. Yeah, how it's
I
gonna
was
play
more
out.
like hostile, or if I was more like direct, like about orders.
Seems like there's a lot of replayability in the
Yeah.
dialogue options
Yeah,
alone.
I mean, I would just replay it off of just changing the background and doing different builds, but I think this is a multi-time game, like, played game here. There's a lot of options for you to choose. So yeah, man. I mean, the game looks great. It runs pretty smooth. I've only crashed one time, but it was pretty quick to get back in. And it was in the game. I'm glad the game auto saved like a few seconds before. So the game saves pretty often. Um, the humor is still there and even better. Like the capitalism thing is very on the nose and it's very in your face. So if you guys think about, oh, the games aren't political, this game is political. But in a
Yeah,
very
first
funny
game was
way.
political too.
What's that dude who's been a part of the like? He's an actor that's been part of the marketing for Outer Worlds 2. I forget his name. Um,
I didn't realize there was. I haven't seen a ton of marketing for this game.
it was like during the Xbox showcase, I believe. Um, he's a weird notable actor, but in the menu, they treat the menu like a dialogue option. Like they have it to where like, oh, I like there's a Spacer's Choice guy and he's talking to you, and I think he's voiced by that guy, by that actor. Let me look at Outer Worlds 2 to cast.
Interesting.
And like he
Oh,
he'll talk about the game. Um
I heard that the game openly made fun of you for buying
yes. Yeah, I totally
the
forgot. I totally forgot about the flaw system. Um yes, so oh actually no, he's not voiced by that guy. But okay. But it sounded like he was. But um so there is the flaw system is back. And better than ever. It was there originally, right? I believe it was in the original game,
Yeah, I didn't
but in a
feel like
very
it did
small
a
way.
ton.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very small way. But now they've revamped the flaw system into something that is also adds replay to the game. So if you there's a bunch of triggers within the game or in what you do that could handle these flaws. I recently, or if I since I bought the pre-order, I pre-ordered it and I bought the, bought into early access. As soon as I finished that first part of getting out of the hibernation pod, I get hit with this flaw. It's called consumerism. And so, it has like a little quippy like description of it. Like it says like, oh, marketing and this works, seems to be very effective to you. And so now, you like to buy the next biggest thing. So now I get 15% off vendor prices. So, vendors are cheaper, like items and vendors are cheaper, but the drawback is I have minus 10% or minus 15% sell value. So anything I sell back is at is worse than if I didn't take this flaw. And then you can
Okay.
deny these flaws as well. You don't have to take them. But I took it because I'm like, you know
There's
what?
the fun in that,
Yeah, I'll
though.
just take it. I'll just take it. So I
I would
recently
take every time I got a new flaw. I'd be like, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and
I would just
and
be glad
I
I got
there's
it.
there was like there was another reviewer that said like I think you should save that for like your second run. You just take all the flaws that you could and see how it goes. I recently got bad knees. I'm sure you've seen this one. So if you crouch too many times, you get the bad
Is it
knees
the
flaw.
more it makes the audible pop, it will
Yes.
actually alert enemies?
Yeah, so when you crouch, you move faster while you're crouched. Um, but if you stand up, it makes an audible sound when you stand up because of your bad knees. It
Oh,
pops
fucking
and
funny,
enemies
dude.
can hear you, and
That's
enemies
so fucking
have a
funny.
hearing based like thing, detection. So you can choose that flaw or not. But so there's these drawbacks. There's also sun gazer, where if you stare too long at the sun, you develop cataracts, and it permanently fucks your vision in the game. Like everything's blurred and bright, but and you get increased weapon spread because you can't hit for shit because you're blind. But you do the benefit is you regain health during the daytime up to 50%. So, uh, yeah, shout out to the
That's so fucking funny, dude.
and there,
That's such an interesting take on like the mutation system that you can get in
yeah,
like Fallout. It's just I'm glad that they took that even further
yeah,
and made it more meaningful in the game.
absolutely. And there's also there was also I saw this on Twitter, foot and mouth syndrome. Um, if you skip too many if you skip too many NPC dialogues, you get the foot and mouth syndrome where I think you like it auto skips for you or something like that, or and you get like uh and you get like 15% experience like boost. And that's it. I think it's a funny flaw. Um
Could you that's Can you just imagine like you actually wanted to like hear what an NPC had to say and it
it's like
just started
no,
to
it's just
keep
like it
going?
just chooses for
Like,
you.
no, you wanted to skip it, so we're skipping all of
Yeah,
it.
it's so on the nose, man, and like the game loves to make fun of you, um, and it make fun of itself. It's so funny. It's so funny, and I can't wait to pick up more flaws and see how that works out. Um, but yeah, man, it this game has been pretty good so far. I would, it's definitely not blowing my socks off, but I definitely like that it's just way better than the first game. And I know a lot of
I was gonna
people,
say
yeah,
we have a new price point with this
seventy
title compared to
dollars,
the
yeah,
first. Yeah, we're $70
seventy
right?
dollars. It's a steep price. You can get it on Game Pass, um, because it is published by Xbox Game Studios, so it's day one Game Pass. Um,
If you're
I
spending $30 a month. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how I feel, man. I haven't played enough to really get a grasp of everything, but from what I've played so far, if I think if you're a fan of the first game and you see the vision of the first Outer Worlds, I think you'd really enjoy this game because it's basically that game but just better in every way possible. Bigger budget means just the team at Obsidian can really flesh out all the things that they wanted to do within the first game into this game. And you could really tell. Um, it just feels really nice. The first act right now is a little slow. It kind of feels like the first game in a sense. Kind of starts off a little slow on the first planet, but there's still fun activities and fun interactions you get to run into. Um, the combat is still pretty simple, but there's some added new mechanics that makes it fun. There's time dilation, there's some new gadgets, and there's a plethora of new gadgets that I haven't even unlocked yet. So I'm assuming that that will add on to the gameplay and combat loop. Um, your companions are a little bit more robust. They talk to you. The world feels a little more alive. Um, the NPCs seem to really respond to the world around them more in this game. Uh, and just the dialogue is as good as ever. I still don't know how this ties into the first game. There is a reference to Victor, the pastor from the first game. He is
Mm.
referenced, so I'm assuming we're going to meet him soon. So, because he has direct ties to DeVries in the story. So your main target, um, through the way
Okay.
of his religion, the Order. Um, yeah, I would say this game is a wait for sale. It's a wait for sale. Um,
Yeah.
it
It sounds like it's got a lot going for it, but dude, in a day and age where your money really matters, the original game was $40,
yeah, and now it's
right? You
70.
got
I
a
mean, it is
$30
AAA.
now
Now
it's
we're
$30.
AAA. and it feels like a AAA game, but I haven't played enough of it to warrant it being a play it now. So I mean, this is a review in progress. So maybe we can both follow up once we finish um these
Yeah,
games.
man. Like I'm very curious to see, like, because it seems like both of our games have things that they do really well, and like you can see that you can see
Mhm.
the vision, right?
Yeah,
Even like the same thing, like with Vampire the Masquerade, like, dude, like I can tell that the Chinese room put most of their effort into the writing, because that they make narrative driven games first, right? And like that's where like it's been the most interesting so far, is like the overarching story of Fire and being in Seattle. And it sounds like you're experiencing like something similar with Outer Worlds, where like the world's intriguing, like the setting is intriguing,
it's
you
and
have
it's
a
like
want to
it's really
be there.
polished. It's really polished.
Yeah,
Like everything's good, but it's not great. It's not like there's no one thing that's like, oh my gosh, you have to get this game. I mean, there's not, nothing. Not everything's going to be a Baldur's Gate 3 or a Mass Effect
yeah,
or.
and I feel like that's kind of where Obsidian lives. Like if you're a fan of Obsidian games, like you're obviously probably going to be getting their titles,
Mhm.
but I feel like a lot of their other games have potential, right? And you can see their
Yeah,
potential, but you might wait a little bit before you pick it up. Like I actually really like Avowed.
yeah.
I
Despite the
think
the
it
criticisms of that game, like a lot of people did not
yeah,
like Avowed. Um,
like that game got a lot of criticisms, or all super valid ones too. I think I hate the way it runs on Series S, which is why I haven't finished it.
yeah,
I'd love to see it get ported to PlayStation 5. Because I mean, other Obsidian games are on PlayStation 5. It's weird that Avowed's not.
yeah,
Because fucking this game is like Outer Worlds 2 is on PlayStation 5.
yeah. I mean, I would say the consensus is people like this way better than Avowed. So
Agreed. I've seen
um,
the temperature of the room is way better
they're
on this
like they're
game
like,
than
oh,
Avowed.
I thought they were gonna miss again like they did Avowed. You know what I'm saying? Um, but no, this game has been really good so far. It's been good to me. Besides the one crash, and it was like when I was loading into a new area. Um, but it was it's still an enjoyable experience. So maybe we'll follow this up. We'll follow this up another time.
We roll credits.
Yeah. So this is a wait for sale for as of now, or if you have Game Pass, pick it up. Doesn't hurt to download it if you have Game
Mhm.
Pass. If you're not paying for Ultimate, if you just Game Pass regular, I think you can still play the game. Um, but yeah, please
No,
let
dude,
us know.
that's the fucking thing. Those day one releases are locked to the higher tiers
Oh
now,
my god, I forgot about that shit.
unless you're on PC Game Pass.
Oh, PC Game Pass. Okay, so I guess if
PC
you have
Game
PC
Pass
Game
is like
Pass,
ultimate because it's just for PC only.
yeah, I see.
But it's yeah, if you have like the upper tiers of Game Pass, or you have PC Game Pass, you can play Outer Worlds too. But if you have the regular one, you're unfortunately you're locked to older titles because
Yeah,
Xbox breaks their promises.
yeah. Well, uh, please let us know what you think of those games if you've played them or are going to play them. Let us know in the comments below or send us an email, I guess. But this has been Good Kraken's Death Ratio, your source for all the nerdy video game news, reviews, and discussions that you want you want to hear each and every week. If you like what you heard, you can head on over to patreon.com/GoodKrakenPods, where you can get exclusive content, discounts on merchandise, and have early access to episodes before they go live on a podcast and video service wherever you like to watch or listen. Um, you can slow that down to 0.5 to really get that one. Um, you can also help us level up our game by joining the GK community on our Discord channel by clicking the link down in our description section below, then subscribing to our podcast channel by searching for Death Ratio and leaving a review there. We have to get going, everyone, but until next time, capitalism sucks and vampires are horny.
Yeah, they are.